can have multiple a day.
Nobody wants to jam.
So 100, yeah.
A live exclusive taste test. This is top secret. I can't talk to you guys exactly about what this is. And it looks here like it might be expired. Or is that the date? Is that the date it was?
Oh, that's the date it was made.
Okay, it's safe to drink. I'm gonna crack this open and take a shot.
It looks like here. Should zoom in on that.
Okay, good snap on the lid. Very fruity, but it also smells like maybe there's something healthy in here. You know, it's giving off healthy, fruity vibes. Refreshing. Fruity.
It's okay.
Very, very good.
It is?
As a genuine response, that's actually really, really good. I taste a lot of these. I know I was just kind of goofing, but I do drink a lot of these. And this right here is very good. This is the number 2 version?
Yeah, so the 1 version, we really liked of it, but we just wanted another, we gave some notes. I forget what we were saying.
Am I able to discuss what the flavor is?
Yeah.
Okay.
No problem.
So it's a raspberry lemonade, and the raspberry is really prominent in that, which I like.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
We'll have
That's
to,
good.
we have more samples, so we'll try all the others too.
But it has like a little bit of a sourness on the end, on the backside of the raspberry. Very good. So this is only what, 130 milligrams of caffeine?
120.
120 milligrams of caffeine. So it's something you could have multiples of in a day. Some other vitamins in here that's definitely going to help with like performance in the gym. And just overall, I think this is a very good product. If you've ever had like what I'm getting from it's like if you've ever had Fit Aids, which is like a really popular like nutritional drink, especially like the CrossFit space. I kind of get a little bit of that taste, but these taste a lot better because the Fit Aids don't taste very good. This one actually tastes incredible. So I'm excited for this to drop. Your gym bag?
Yeah, my gym bag too.
Going shopping. Okay, that's good. Hey Antoine, I went shopping with your basket. Got you some Vita HD, a new hat.
So what's the code we're gonna use?
Shier 10.
God damn it.
Every time.
AV.
You could use code AV. That's okay. Just to kind of address the camera here, we're here with Eric Seifert.
Yep.
He's the man. Dorian set this up, so I was lucky enough to get the chance to train with him. I know he's a busy guy. I actually deal with some knee pain. I've been dealing with chronic knee issues for the last 3 years or so. I do have some previous injuries with my hip and my left leg that I think might be contributing, but either way, we're gonna run through some leg training today, and he's gonna see if we can maybe just change and manipulate a few things and try to get the most out of my leg training and just hopefully work around some of these issues that I'm having. So I'm excited.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome. So typically, where would you start?
So I would start with I've been starting just with a seated hamstring curl. I
Oh,
usually
cool.
just kind of get a hamstring movement out of the way, get my knees warmed up that way before I start using
Perfect.
them.
Do you have one in here you like more than the other?
Not particularly.
No? Okay.
I do like this one, this Flex ham tractor.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah,
really
perfect.
good.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Well,
So I've
just
only
sort of
used this
figured it out.
machine one time, so I forget. It's like a.
Yeah.
Forward? Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty simple.
Okay,
I mean,
let me
again,
see if I
it's a
can-
pretty steep one versus this one versus that one. They kind of get between flat, and I don't really care. It
Yeah,
could be-
I personally like this one just because the stretch that I get.
Yeah,
out.
that's
Really-
fine.
really
Yeah, most of them you
lengthens
really
the
want to see, can I get a lengthened position, right?
Yeah.
So okay, let's see what you start with.
hamstring. All right.
The only disadvantage is this is a relative fixed thing versus having an adjustment here.
That
but
kind of moves on the.
yeah, like this is it. You better be this long.
Sure. Yeah.
Right?
I mean, does it
You know?
adjust forward? On
Yeah,
this?
that should. It's the only thing I think that should adjust is the seat. No. Oh yeah, just at the bottom.
Just the bottom. That's just
Just
height.
a little bottom. Yeah.
Let me just see kind of where we're at here.
Let's see where it
Just
fits you
comes-
first.
Get down here. Oh.
Ultimately, what I would say is, if you can, when you get one of these big trailing arm things coming at you, just think about slowing it down by the time you get there, right?
Yeah,
and when
sure.
you're at the top here, I want you to think about, because you like this stretch idea, I want you
Yeah.
to squeeze your quads.
Yeah.
Now start.
Okay. I
right?
immediately
So you
felt
have
a
the
way
active,
bigger
yeah,
pull.
you have the active stretch. Okay.
Interesting.
So,
Yeah.
so now there's another knee guarding thing.
Sure.
Oh, I'm gonna have a reciprocal relationship with those talking to each other, as opposed to, yeah, I'm just gonna passively hang on those guys. Right?
Okay.
Okay. Right. And then if
Yeah.
I have quad stuff, I'm probably gonna use some ab stuff.
Kind of tuck the
There
sternum
you
in.
go. Yeah, just keep that. There you go. So that this doesn't move around, right?
Sure.
If that ab trunk stuff is holding still. And then generally, if I was ever going to help you, I'm going to push that way. Look at that. I'm going to push towards the floor.
Yeah.
So everybody's so busy trying to get backwards that they forget
Yeah.
this is extension first. right? So it's really
Yeah.
going mostly 80% of this is up and down, with maybe 20% of this back.
Sure.
But everybody's trying to get backwards so fast.
Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute.
I always find with this that what I see clients will do is they throw this.
Yeah, they're just trying
And
to
then
get
they just
backwards.
shoot it into there, and they're in and out of this end range.
And if I had to say where this lengthened position is going to be where you're getting more work out of it.
The most valuable, and
Yeah.
then just kind of ease into that, and then I always try to encourage everyone to really squeeze and hold that, opposed to shooting in and out of that.
And
short
as you
range.
get into that position, one more time,
Sure.
squeeze. As you get in that position, I want you to think about extra this. See how they go to get like almost you're going forward while it goes backwards,
Yes.
right? As opposed to I start getting in there and I start
Well,
going
you start
backwards
seeing
at the
this.
Almost everybody's trying to go away in this like a big hip flexor dominant thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, there you go. So it's gonna feel like it's gonna kind of throw you over the machine. Yeah, there you go. And then all of them are just controlled, right? I'm never gonna know your weights and your, never met you before. Hey,
Yeah.
I'm gonna know exactly what weight you use, what range you use,
Sure.
right? So mostly, as we get to know each other a little bit, my job today is to figure out like where are there little things that have added more help for you versus I never pay attention and I guess I'll just go.
Well, I will say I'm a big advocate of loading in the fully stretched position. But that quad
you add
engagement,
quad to it.
I
and
didn't
it's like,
even really think about how much that would lengthen the hamstring. So I've never really thought
you
about
want
that.
somebody to straighten it out. It's like, let's use the other side. Okay, right?
Yeah, I've had some tightness issues that causes knee pain.
Okay,
from
so
the
that's
back of my
something.
knees.
Yeah, so that's something we should try and figure out.
Yeah, because I would train calves. I just it just has a tendency to cause issues.
Yeah.
And then I have good calves, so I just throw
it's
it
like,
away.
why poke the bear?
Yeah.
Yeah, why poke the bear? I get it. So
Foot angle here.
So we would think about if I looked here, you don't want to play. This is where the bolt of this machine works.
Yeah.
You do not want to be playing with like, hey, I'm going to turn my knees in a different direction. Typically, you're going to put some force across your knees that don't feel awesome. So it's more like my hips. Most people are trying to think their feet are going to steer.
Yeah.
It's like, no, your hips steer your hips.
Yeah.
How about that?
I mean, generally, I have my feet just want to come out to here.
Yeah, absolutely.
They just want to turn out.
Oh, I'm not saying, you also have a lot of hamstring. So a lot of big guys here have a lot of hamstring to sit on.
Yeah.
So it's work to control it. It'll feel like I told you to turn in.
Yeah.
I'm just not letting you turn out.
Yep.
And
got it.
it's like, where does that happen? Oh, that's why my abs are important again. Right?
Okay.
Because all my
makes
hip
sense.
flexor stuff is all anchored down with my obliques and my transverse. So if I let that go, it's like, well, my hip flexors are doing whatever they do.
Yep, I can see that.
All right, there you go.
All right.
There, nice big crunch down. There you go. Yeah, it's much easier to hold that if your abs are involved. And then we just think you're parking my car when you get back here. There you go, that's better. Squeeze quads, there, good. And if I had to give up something, I'd give up range. If I had to.
Yeah.
To get the quality of the contraction, but if you start throwing away the quality of the contraction to get more range, then it's like, what did you?
Sure.
You kind of gave away something.
And meaning
like
what?
if you couldn't get as far down there, but you started wanting to throw and catch it to get farther, then I would be like, throw away the range.
Yeah,
It's just one of the volume questions.
So you're fine with just failing and then going
if
maybe
you
some, like,
fail
some
where you
partial
fail,
reps.
yeah, but you kept everything lined up, I'd be like, then that's in my mind perfect.
Got it.
Otherwise, you see guys just finding every reason to find a rep, and then I'm like, oh, that didn't count, that didn't count, that didn't count.
Yep.
There we go, crunch, keep that crunch. Yeah, there you go. See, from start to finish, it doesn't come off.
Okay, cool. Well, that was, very subtle differences to what I typically do, but not a big outcome change. I feel
So like, oh wow,
felt a big change.
right?
Yeah.
Worthwhile doing that. Knees feel better.
Definitely.
Everybody feels warmed up. It's prime. Obviously, you can do this on any other leg extension, but this one obviously gives us an opportunity to make this heavy at the top, or down here heavy at the bottom, right? And if I said this, just like the leg curl was mostly up and down, this is like 80% forward and maybe 20% up.
Yeah.
And everybody basically picks a weight and a move that they don't ever really finish any rep. So they never go all the way back and they never go all the way up.
Yeah.
So we're gonna kind of break it into two, almost like 1/3, let's call it 1/3 and 2/3.
Yeah.
But we're gonna change where it's heavy to do the 1/3, and then we're gonna
Okay.
change where it's heavy to do the 2/3, but we're gonna change weight. So we're gonna make it relatively, what would be hard here is different than what's gonna get hard down here.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
so
makes
it's gonna
perfect
be a lighter hard set up here, and then a heavy down at the bottom. So 10 and 10. Does that
Okay,
make sense,
perfect.
right?
Yeah.
Now, you have a lot of hamstring more than me. So if we drop our pelvis back, if I get more length at this end, I can get more shortening here.
Yeah.
But if somebody sits up really sharp here, you're shortening two ends.
Okay.
And all of a sudden you can't get as much rectus challenge, okay?
So typically when I'm here, I will kind of consciously shift my hips forward to try to get a little bit.
Sure, which is great. We're just gonna make sure, and so most people see something that's lifting up here, right?
Yeah.
And the reality is, if this was a seesaw and I wanted this to come up, what would I do the other side?
Yeah, understood.
So I'm actually trying to drive my legs all the way through. And if you don't, you end up coming off it, which is a nice fulcrum, but it means you got all the pressure here and none of the pressure way back here. Because it means your body's going to the weight. Like this is gonna pull me that way.
Yeah.
So we're gonna sit down really hard. Our entire job is to finish here, right?
Okay,
Because if I think where's parallel, it's not here.
Yeah, of course.
Most guys are like, yeah, that's as high as it can go. I'm like,
Yeah.
because you're coming out of the chair.
You're coming, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That makes sense? So we're gonna finish there, 1/3, 10 of those, and then we're gonna change this, and we're gonna come out, and it's gonna look more like, okay, now my job is to get back as far as I can.
Gotcha.
And then big thing for you, and you've got so much hamstring, you'll see this, right?
Yeah,
It's
I
like,
wanna be out here.
And it's like, I need
Yeah.
these guys to stay, again, sort of vertical. Let's call this vertical.
Yeah, got
Makes
it.
sense? Like the sharp bone are facing up.
Sure. Okay, so just really want to be.
Oh, hold on, I'm gonna move this one for you. Let's get that. Oh, the other way. There you go.
Okay.
All right, now we're also not gonna lift it with our feet.
Right.
Yeah.
Drive kind of through
Yeah.
the.
Otherwise,
shin
we're
bone.
trying to like, wait, dorsiflex? It's like you're gonna feel like you can actually leave your foot.
How do you feel? Do you feel like you just kind of let your feet?
Generally, I let the feet go, or I can force a plantar flex position, because the
But
more
you
that
don't wanna-
happens, the more we're trying to bring
Yeah.
this.
So
we're trying to bring
you,
this
you
to
would
here.
prefer this
I'd rather that
over
yeah.
this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Got it.
In that sense again of shoving our legs through the chair to get that to come up. There you go. There. Let them go. There you go. And so again,
Just
this
here?
Yeah, just there. There. And then we bend and then straight again. There you go.
Got it.
Right? There, because the cam's set up for this to be heavy, so we're gonna stay there.
Yeah.
There we go. And again, let those go. Because remember, if you plantar flex, that's attached to knee extension. If you
Okay.
dorsiflex, that's actually not attached to knee extension.
Yeah, got it.
Right? They don't go together. You think like a diver or a dancer foot, you would see like that straight leg,
Yes.
straight calf, right? There you go. Because we want more quad, not just more movement of this. There you go, easy peasy. Last one. Get those plantar flex. Yeah, there, that's it. See how it's through the chair feeling? There you
Yeah.
go, good. All right, okay, now you just move this. Now put a real weight on there for you.
Okay. You want me to increase?
Heavy, something heavy on there.
Okay. I'm not sure how heavy is heavy.
No, well, whatever. I don't know for you. Whatever feels heavy for you.
Don't know.
It's all good.
We'll
I
see.
can stack this, so it's fine.
Okay, you can say. I'm a little apprehensive with the knees.
Absolutely.
This is like usually what kind of.
Yep, this is what starts to flare it up. Yep. Okay, so now all we gotta do, so sometimes I've taken like we can't do it with this one, but I would take a garbage can here and I'd be like, all we're doing is kicking down. So it's like, go that way. See where your shins are pointed? Your shins are pointed almost down.
Yeah.
So your first move is that way.
Yeah.
So you would literally be like, your entire move is that. The number one thing everybody does is just sort of let it take them down. You're gonna try and think about, oh, I gotta get these back, right? My quads literally hang over this, right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
So
right?
as far as like this positioning,
Yeah, you're fine right
I mean,
there.
like,
everything else is the same.
you
Yep.
kind of you like that like hips
Yeah,
forward.
that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, we're gonna be in that slope position, but you're basically coming out of this. So if it was kicking a soccer ball, you'd be coming out of it. You wouldn't
Right.
be trying to come up.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. Of
You'd be
course.
your shins would be going that way.
Yeah. Understood.
Nothing to do with your feet, right? There you go. And again, that same idea that you don't want to lift it. I need you to push it away.
Okay.
Yeah, there. That's it. Good. We'll keep you here. Mark. There we go. There. Some people put a ball here.
You know
like,
that
it makes you think about adducting. I just
That
want you.
immediately took pressure off of my
That's so
just being in
funny,
here.
right? Yeah. There you go.
Immediately you brought that in.
Yeah,
I
it
felt
all
that.
says like, oh, I'm not running across the patella, right? So there
Yeah.
you go. So that happens way up here. Your hips are here. Right?
Yeah.
There you go. So you're not lifting it, you're just shoving it away. There, that's better. So see how these wrap around this way? That's better. You can picture them wrapping around. You're not lifting a thing, you're pushing it out. There, that's better. So every time you get that little wiggle, it's like, oh, I'm losing something up here. That's it. Yeah, you're not kicking me in the balls, you're kicking me in the shins. There you go.
Yeah, there it is, yeah. Looking at
Something
your shin and actually aiming for help.
Something really bad happened if my balls are down there. There you go. So it's all about getting backwards to come out a bit again.
Yeah.
That's it. It's that sense of down. It's backwards,
Yeah.
all the way back to come out. Yeah, there you go. You got it now. All the way back. Come straight out of that. Much better. Last one. All the way back. Straight out. And relax. Good.
Oh,
There you
God, that
go.
sucked.
Yeah. How fun is that?
Not much, but it's great. I liked it. So I will say, when I have pain, it's usually when I'm locking out.
Yeah.
It's right here, and this is where I feel that pain.
Sure.
So I've made it, I typically will load in the lengthened position and then have that load come off as I come into the contraction.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know if it's helping. I think it is.
Yeah, well, ultimately,
you know-
you're the one that can feel that.
Yeah.
So ultimately, we would use, in the field knowledge
Yeah, of course.
versus in the lab knowledge of
Yeah.
this is what should work, and you're like, doesn't,
But where you were having me come out to that range
yeah.
and we were having me stop, it's that right in between.
Yeah.
It's that transition that hurts me.
Yeah. So that's where you might get to come on a different direction. You start finding another rotation, right? And so now we broke it into like, okay, you stay fixed to finish the screw home in the knee.
Yeah.
And then okay, that's a different weight, different focus, up and
Yeah.
down, right, at that position. And then, okay, now you can load it up and just come out it, and it's like, that's a partial. I'm like, it's just a different angle of motion to come
Yeah.
backwards and forwards. And then
Yeah.
by all means, eventually they can merge.
Right.
Eventually they come, like I can do this, and play with this with the stack. And it's like, okay, it's work for sure. But
Yeah.
eventually it's like, oh, I don't need to do this mechanism. I can just go
Yeah.
straight.
You guys, when we're talking about bodybuilding, you think about like a side chest pose. You want that height in your quad. A lot of people do leg extensions and they're thinking teardrop, because that's what most people are feeling when they're doing this.
Yeah.
But really being able to push hips forward, fully lengthen, and
Yeah.
stretch the quads and use the quads right from the insertion can help build that, and that's where we need size.
Yeah, most of the guys that start doing this start going, I've never felt my quads this far up here.
Yeah. I search for it. I mean, I understand
Yeah.
understand, but
Yeah, once you get that leverage and you drive that leg down, it's like, oh, you pose
Yeah.
like that, don't you? Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That
oh.
really helped.
Okay, so
Kicking down, like you said.
Yeah.
Whew. All right, well, that's definitely a lot different. I've never really done those bottom ranges than top ranges separately. Didn't have to, well, actually I did use the stack on that last set, but really, we got a lot out of a little. It's little subtle changes. I think for me, I just have a tendency to let my hips really open up here, and bringing those in is really what we were focusing on, and then just pulling right from the hips and using just the quads. Felt really good. This, I'm always a fan of prioritizing knee flexion on a movement, so I'll have my feet nice and low.
Yeah.
My ankle mobility is terrible, so like sometimes I'll get my heels lifting up depending on how low I go on the platform. Now, whether or not that's causing any issues, I couldn't say, but
Yeah, typically, I would prioritize, like, you keep your feet on there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's one of those, like, bias of I took something from Peter to pay Paul. Like,
Sure.
I got lower, but now I'm in a weird, my feet are doing something different.
flexion. Yeah.
Yeah, and my knee is now flexing, but now rotating at the same time. So.
And for me, I always have to point my toes out to get my knees to track.
Yeah, dude. So
Out,
if I chopped your leg off, this would be a straight leg.
Yeah. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's straight to you.
Sure.
Right? It's like angled away for you, but to the leg itself, it's straight.
Okay.
What I wouldn't want to see is my lower leg is doing something different than my upper,
Gotcha.
right? So, or I'm coming
Okay.
down and my degree of abduction is increasing, and no. So this would be like in the plane you picked. That's
Okay.
the plane.
Okay.
Versus, this is moving this
Yeah.
way, but my
So
legs are going
I just
different.
always drive out and away, because otherwise I just run into myself.
That's fine. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, we go back to that bias of like when my knee stops bending, right?
Yeah, sure.
So if I was following your leg, this is the path.
Yeah.
But if I'm following the plate, this is the path. And I'm like, I don't give a shit about this.
Yeah.
This isn't actually moving. What's really moving is this.
Yeah,
And if
gotcha.
I want to train quads, I have to think about bending my knee.
Gotcha.
If I end up at a hip thing, it's like, I'm going to pay attention to this moving.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I want.
And I will
hamstring.
say, I don't pay much attention to active range of motion.
No.
I'll let my hips lift up and stretch
Yeah.
my glutes, and
Okay.
I don't give a shit, you know.
So
but,
let's just think about that whole foot on there, and you
Okay.
keep the plane you pick.
Okay. And this is mine has like marks, so I know exactly where to put my feet
you
on
know
mine,
exa-
but
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know on this one
That's fine.
necessarily.
Fair enough. You'll play with it a little bit. But if I followed this one now, we're just going to stay in that plane there. There you go. Otherwise, you get so busy measuring this versus this. There, drive this to the floor. Forget pushing this away and drive these that way. There, that's it. So you finish with a big quad squeeze going that way.
Yes.
As opposed to
So I
hip
like-
squeeze.
I like to think about dropping the knees
Yeah.
and
Yep.
flexing the quads,
Yep.
not just driving through,
Yeah.
right?
Otherwise, you're just pushing this thing away, and we're back to that's a hip motion. Or
Yeah.
a hip drive. Right?
So you can almost treat that finishing portion like a leg extension.
yeah, 100%. It's
Yeah.
welcome to leg extension right here.
Okay,
Bang.
cool.
Right, no different than we did on the hamstring thing right there. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, there
it's
it
amazing you can achieve the exact same thing by doing two completely different
is.
things.
Yeah, like two different choices of path, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now we control where that hip is from the hip, and then this is just drive your knees through there. Yeah. There.
Yeah, okay, I got
Okay.
you. Like drop the knees.
Yeah, drop the knees to the floor. That's the result. Otherwise, you just focus on moving this. This is the attention right here. There, that's it. If I was gonna pick on you, it'd be like, oh, my knee goes, and it's like, oh, go. I would get in the way. Stop me now. Stop me
Yeah.
now. Stop me now. There you go.
Yeah, okay, gotcha.
It's like, oh, that's
Sure.
the path, right? Once you realize that's the path, it's like, oh, that thing's a vehicle. This is the vehicle. That's a passenger.
Yeah, I got
Okay?
you.
Right? Otherwise, people's like, this is the vehicle. I hope I get this.
So immediately as I come out of that, I'm thinking
Yeah.
dropping
down.
these
Yeah,
knees
yeah,
down and really
Yeah.
contracting the
Finish.
quads.
Yeah. Finish it off. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I felt that where like I can finish that movement where I don't use my quads.
Yeah. You can
Oddly
just
enough,
stack it and oh, I did
just
it.
push right
or
through.
stop, or it'll
Yeah.
feel this is inefficient. Like I can go an extra inch here, but I didn't go an extra inch here. So all of a sudden, why would I bother? They're like, oh, I want soft knees. I'm like, no. I'm not saying lock your knees out and let them go.
Shorten the quads though.
I want you to shorten your quads.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Now, have you ever done the sets where a lot of guys have trouble or want to get stronger, right? And so I might play with 1 inch reps at the bottom.
Okay, no.
Never done that?
No.
Okay, so 1 inch, let's say 1 to 2 inch reps, because 1 inch does make a difference.
Yes, ladies,
Ladies, yeah.
men who think it don't, it does.
But you do like 10 reps of 1 inch where it's heavy, and then 10 full reps, right? You can try that. Now that was an easy warm-up weight. This probably starts looking like a good weight for
Yeah,
that.
so like I've been working up to like 8 plates for
that's fine.
about 4 to 15.
Oh, so this
That's
should be
15.
fine for that, yeah. You get the idea. So the position you have is great, the angle is great, nothing's different, and now you're gonna stay in that sort of loaded position.
And just really try to push.
Yeah, that
from this
knee
deep
direction,
point,
not
yeah.
foot direction.
Yeah, gotcha.
Okay, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'll hang out down here with you,
Okay,
just to pray, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll pray with you down here.
I appreciate it.
Pray to the iron gods to lift this up.
So we'll say like I have a tendency, this is the hip I broke.
Yeah,
My foot has a tendency to do this through a set sometimes.
yeah. So you're gonna steer, not from your foot, because that's coming from your hip. So what do we have to help our hips?
Yeah,
Our
gotcha.
pelvis, our trunk. Yeah. Right. When you
So
start letting
another-
the rib cage go, it's
So
like
my,
oh,
I think this leg might be longer. So one thing I always do is I kind of like have to push
Yeah.
to sink this hip back.
Yep, like
'Cause I have-
screwing in.
'cause I have a tendency to
that's
be
fine.
like,
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah, versus settling kind of on one side. Yep.
yeah. Okay.
There you go. All right, so now we know our plane right here. So where you think you're done, right there, 1 inch. 1, 2, to the floor, 3, there we go. There you go. 4, moving your knees, not the plate. 5, there you go. Moving your knees, not the plate. 6, good. Your knees, not the plate. 7, yep. 8, there we go. 9, good. And then all the way out, 10 reps, go. Straight to the floor, 1. There, moving your knees, there's the path right there. 2, continuous, there you go. 3. Right? You don't even rest down there. Go. 4. Good. Right there. 5. Right here. 5. 5. Perfect. Finish them off. 6. Squeeze your quads to the end. 6.
Fuck.
Yep. 7. 7 to the end. There we go. And again. There you go. 8, 9, and 10. 8. Squeeze to the end. Good job. 9. Squeeze to the end. Yes. Squeeze those quads now. Squeeze those quads now. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Finish. Yes. Good. Oh, that is way harder.
My goodness.
That's way harder than it looks.
Whoa. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that's way harder. That's way harder than it looks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So all of a sudden, if all your goals are is more weight versus more stress.
Yes.
So it's like, well, they're more stressed. One of the ways to get more stress is more weight. But on some level, this is not 5 pounds that you made impossibly hard. This is a lot of weight that you
Still
could actually
6
make.
plates aside.
Yeah, still 6 plates aside. But
Yeah.
now I'm going to produce a fatigue that is going to be higher and higher and higher, right? All right, so guys, what we're trying to do here is we're punishing Justin in this very 1 or 2 inch range, way at the bottom of his range. That's where it's incredibly heavy, okay? And so he's spending more time under this deep position before he finished off with 10 full reps. And I made sure that he's actually following the path of his knee, not the path of the plate. Okay, a lot of times people get focused on moving this leg press, like that's the whole goal. He got quad focused by moving his knees through this whole range. Okay, got a lot more out of this than you'd think. You see how I'm draping down, but I'm gonna invert my feet. So I'm actually gonna do that kind of laying on the outside. Okay. If I do that, all of a sudden Magnus pops up because now I'm kind of in this, it'll feel a little more scoopy.
Sure.
Magnus is an extensor. So if
Gotcha.
I said you're gonna adduct and very slightly push down on the posts, you're gonna feel like, oh, I have to feel Magnus doing its job. And for most guys, that's like visually what they're trying to fill in more than anything else.
Yeah.
Because when they turn sideways, it's not hip flexion stuff that's gonna show up. It's gonna
or
be
in the back shots.
It's
you
gonna
want
be
them
back
filling that
shots.
gap.
I
Yeah.
want to see that. Does that
Yep.
make sense? Right?
Definitely.
At our legs, just kind of almost like invert there.
Yeah, gotcha.
Makes sense, right? And I see when that happens, I'm now, I'm kind of externally rotated as I adduct.
Instead of like,
Instead of flat,
Yeah.
it's like, I can sit there and kind of increase. There you go.
yeah, see,
Okay, right?
Yeah.
And again, just that, you don't have to drive this thing through the floor, but that
Sure,
idea.
I'm still putting pressure through
Yeah.
the
I'm
legs.
still
not-
trying to
not
think,
the feet.
it's still adduction, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna add just this little bit. Pull up on that one. There you go.
Okay.
There you go. And again, just enough to create an extension moment, right? I'm just trying to push down a little bit. And again, that almost, there.
Okay.
There you go. Just hook this guy. Just in, see how it sits in there.
Oh, I got it.
Yeah, there you go. Right? See how I said
see.
it sits
Yeah.
on that. There you go. It's gonna feel like your angle's here,
Yeah, definitely.
right? And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, Magnus. Oh yeah, I can keep it on Magnus the whole time now.
Yes.
Okay. Now distinctly, we want to think my hip is here. So as I
Okay.
come in, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna actually think about controlling this and moving here.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I
Right?
gotcha.
That's it. So that idea of driving down through the posts as you squeeze in should feel
Jeez,
like,
already-
wow.
yeah, already
like
feel
right away Magnus.
Blasting already.
There you go.
I think I've been doing this wrong the whole time.
Well, you're getting something out of it for sure.
Yeah.
That turns into a different exercise there now, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. Holy shit. This is a working weight.
Yeah. And the fact you decide to open your legs as opposed to let the weight push you out there.
Yeah.
So again, we go back to active. Like, okay, actively open your legs. There you go, good. So my abductors had to be involved. There you go.
I think that once you kind of do this a few times, it can become second nature and really just become part of your process.
Oh, absolutely.
Once you kind of think about it.
Initially, it's going to feel like I'm just like screwing with you right now.
Yeah, of
right?
course. Yeah.
But there's going to be a skill shift.
There is.
And then there's a control shift, and then there's like a stimulus shift that says, okay, that I
a
felt
lot of
that
people
really
will say
different.
there's not a skill in lifting weights, and that's complete horseshit.
Yeah. Internally rotated position.
So I really want to kind of, you think I should
Yeah.
fight to keep that in?
Yeah.
Let it pull through that glute.
Yeah. There you go. So that
And
hip
just
is
kind of
wide.
like-
Yeah, there you go. So there's that inside edge again. Yeah, there you go. So the hip is the thing that swings around.
That's it.
So the glute goes right, and pushes you back across left. The left hip goes left and pushes you back across middle. There, this guy fills up, pushes you right across the middle. There you go.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, that's better. Yeah, feel it's inside, those adductors are part of it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So the hip is moving out, drive across the middle. The hip comes out, drives across the middle. Yeah, now you got it. There it is. A little better on the knees.
I feel stable.
Well, you feel like you end up staying in the middle while your hips move side to side.
This is here, but I'm like,
yeah, you're the one that stays in the middle.
It's like the hips are dynamic, but not the upper body.
That's right. So the hips are a counterweighting mechanism, yes, right? And it's like, oh no, I'm not doing it at my hips, I'm gonna do it at my upper.
I know I keep saying this, but that first lunge I took before you made any corrections, my knees lit up.
Yeah, like,
They didn't light up there.
yeah. So all of a sudden it's like, oh, the knee is sitting on top of the foot and the hip's designed to move that way.
Yeah.
If the hip doesn't, the knee's trying to figure out how to create that relationship.
I'm aware of the issues with my knees. I can still feel that it's there.
Yeah.
But it was like this avoidance of a movement pattern.
Yeah.
It was like there's
Now,
some shearing there.
All we're gonna think about now is just finishing your quads.
Yeah.
Okay, by actually finishing, because a lot of guys will get up here and they're like, oh, I'm done. And it's like the top of the leg press. It's like, no, I'm not done. Now I'm done.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so it's gonna feel like the knees are snapping backwards.
Okay.
Now, if you do that, it's like, oh, you don't have to do the whole like, oh, I guess I'll pick my leg up, because you'll be already falling.
into that next
Yeah,
step.
you're already going. Yeah. There. Yep. And again, longer doesn't make better.
Got it.
There you go. In that stack behind you, finish it right off behind you. Yeah, there. See, it snaps backwards. That's it. You got it now. There. Really good. Right through. Yep. Right through. There we go. There. You're already falling forward when you hit it. That's it. Right through. Yep. Push right behind you. Yes. Nice job. That was way better.
It really clicked when you said longer isn't better.
Yeah, you started to want to.
Because I wanted to just
Start taking long
achieve
strides.
more length. Yeah.
So then all of a sudden somebody says, oh, look, I'm lower. I'm like, wait, how do I get out of this position with any force?
Yeah, less power.
It's like, there it is, right? So it seems like almost holding yourself in that short that you can get a better chop out of it.
Sure.
Right? Versus lengthening your stride, and I got lower, but now I'm doing all the weird, how do I come out of that?
Yeah, for sure. Right.
I feel it's like one of those weird, when you want to walk faster and you have longer legs, you just take bigger stride. Yeah. I was like, no, move faster means move
faster.
Move faster.
Yeah,
not
exactly.
take longer
Covering
stride.
more ground.
Right?
It's not the same thing.
So the same thing here. It turns into I want to lengthen out my stride because I'm getting lower, and it's like, yeah, but now you're sacrificing the pivot, push out.
Yeah, so you really want to prioritize force production through that leg.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to be ready to drive backwards already versus, I'm so overstrided. There's no way I can. You see all these weird reps off the bottom.
Yeah, makes perfect sense.
Yeah. We're gonna pick on you a little different here, though.
Okay.
So this one's kind of wide, which is kind of nice, but we're gonna do. So people ask me all the time about inner calf, outer calf, whatever, and I would definitely say that most of us have really shitty turnout stuff that we end up getting more medial gastroc, medial calf.
Yeah, I think
development.
that's where like the most of my
and
development.
lateral gastroc, lateral soleus becomes sort of this like, you can get that? It's like, it's like, yeah. So you got to think about, just like what we did with our turnout, this is not turn my feet out, this is turn my hips open.
Gotcha.
So my feet, if I cut my leg off, is straight.
Yeah.
Right? But the application is different here, right? So I'm not trying to go, like, again, I don't really care whether we go really too far down, but this is, if I looked at the front of my ankle, it's going that way.
Sure.
It's nothing to do with this.
And are you applying a little more pressure to the outsides of your feet or just through?
No, it's going to be straight, but my feet are not flat to this. So it'll feel like this is a lateral soleus thing.
Yeah, I gotcha.
And gastroc will play a little bit role here.
Right.
You won't feel the same sort of medial thing, but my legs are going that way.
Yeah.
Right? This your ankle, you'd be stopping me, right? Yeah, there you go. Right?
Yep.
There you go. There you go. Now
We're thinking about like.
Yeah, we're gonna even get even farther in, like move you further in.
Okay.
Almost like more dorsiflex. So most guys set their knees up here. Can you get your knees further forward?
Yep.
Yeah, even if you bring this down. This might come down a little bit.
Like this, you think?
Yeah, no, bring the seat thing down here.
Oh, does this come down? Oh, okay, I didn't realize it was dressed.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're like, yeah, there.
Yeah, okay. Really,
See how you're already
really
starting
wedged in there.
dorsiflex
Yeah,
now?
Yeah.
There you go. Most people
Yeah.
then start so far back because they're
Yeah,
thinking about
gotcha.
moving this versus no, set
Yeah,
yourself
that makes
dorsiflex.
perfect sense. Yeah,
Yeah,
now
there
I'm
you
already
You
loaded.
feel it's like, oh, it's
stretched.
loaded to the start.
Yeah,
there you go.
exactly.
All right, way you go. And so if we cut his legs off, they're coming right at you. This is coming forward from here. Nike's coming right out this way. So he's going backwards, not downwards, and forwards, right? And so these big muscles are pulling this out of the way, there. And he's not putting it down, he's bringing it backwards and forwards. How's that feel now?
Yeah, feels great.
And so it's kind of frog squatty feeling there.
Yeah, it's not a position I naturally would come sit in.
No, but meanwhile you deviate out there sometimes, so it's like, oh.
Yeah, I do.
That's
That's something I've had to realize on the leg press. I would always try to keep it in, but it would work its way to this place.
So now it's like, oh, these are just moving in that plane, right?
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Because a lot of people ask me, like, what about these turned out? I'm like, yeah, it's okay, but it's not turned out feet, it's turned out hips.
Right. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, there you go.
Unless, of course, your knees are in and your feet are out.
That's a disaster.
Yeah. Or vice versa.
Right? Because people have their legs there and then just turn their lower leg out, and it's like, now you're looking at something very different. And if we're in this position, for me, this would probably be as low as I want to go. As long as I'm here, once I'm here, I'm below the plane.
Yeah.
I don't have to hang off this thing to somehow get below the plane.
Because of the
because the
position.
angle, once I'm here, I'm below zero.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? So
yeah.
this is where it's like, oh, you have to go below zero, but most people hang off and destroy their midfoot. And I'm like, you just have to make sure you're angled forward. Does that make sense? Now, more importantly,
maybe
with
where
this,
I get into trouble kind of with that little bit of overstretching.
yeah, it starts to roll around, and,
Yeah.
right? So it's like, all right, so then take a position back here. Then from here, the funny part is, I'm going to kind of shorten these up a little bit. The big deal is, can you straighten your knees? Nobody does that. So it's like, oh, well, where do my knees straighten in this motion? They straighten here. So I could bend, like I'm going to jump, and I could straighten my legs, and you will feel calves like you're not used to feeling calves. Plate away. Yeah, that's better.
And soften the knees.
Yeah, there. Yep. There we go. So those knees would be soft because I'm jumping. And then I'm straightening my leg. Yeah, there, that's it. You feel how they snap backwards?
Yeah.
Okay, so my legs go that way. There you go. So by the time you get up there, it's like straight legs. There you go, straight. That's it. Okay, you want to get more out of your calves, just straighten your legs. Yeah, there, that's it. See, it's this conversion up that you have to worry about.
Yeah.
It's backwards and forwards. There, that's it. There you go.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Straight knees. Yes.
Oh.
There you go.
Yeah, it's not just locking the knees, it's pushing them back.
Yeah.
Yeah, holy
Just
shit.
like we've done already, right? Straighten your knees. Yes. That's good. There you go, boss. Straight, straight, straight.
Oh, I can't do it.
Yeah, there you go. Done. There you go, you're done. So guys, we took a very high level bodybuilder looking for very small changes that he can, find when he travels, where he doesn't have to have amazing equipment like here, right? Where he has to kind of make up some stuff. So we played with some techniques, a lot of like him just finishing for quad dominant stuff, for him to straight bend and straighten your knees. Right?
Yeah, and honestly, one thing I've really wanted to bring up this offseason is my quads, and I made it clear to him that I just have some knee issues that I feel are holding me back. So we focused on a lot of things that could help me, where I'm not necessarily prioritizing load, I'm just prioritizing the function of the quad. And I'm definitely walking away with a lot more knowledge than I came in with, and I really appreciate it, Eric.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
that was great.
awesome.
I appreciate you guys watching. We'll catch you on the next one.